G'day and welcome back to the channel. Yes, I've got Bilsteins. And let's not mess about, they are fantastic. Weren't really planned, so mainly due to cost, right? I had to spread cost out. I couldn't do it when I did the rest of the work last year, tune, other sort of chassis bits and pieces, just to spread out costs. You could say, oh, you spent all that money on the MSS springs. Yeah, and at the time that seemed like a good idea, because the plan was that those springs would last me 12 to 18 months at least. That's kind of what I expected to get out of them. Before then I felt the need to upgrade further. Unfortunately, it didn't quite pan out like that, and I'll tell you why. So when I had the car out on the track with its new setup, and you know, I loved it, I hit a brick wall, not literally but figuratively, in terms of the stock dampers just couldn't keep up with the new pace I was getting out of the car. It just couldn't. The car was kind of skipping in corners, and really not allowing me to extract what I could be out of the car from the modifications that I'd done. That was all there was to it, and it wasn't really worth me doing anything else, or even like persisting and trying to reduce my lap times while that was such a big limitation. Now since then, these DSC controllers have come out, and again, oh look, you just could have got one of those and with your MSS and that would have worked fantastically. It may have improved it a little bit, but according to the people I spoke to, very, very well versed people in suspension workings, basically they're saying it's limitation of the stock struts, the size of the piston, and the fact that over time, hard use, they'll start to effectively leak inside and not give you that really quick and robust rebound that you need on the track. On the street, they were fine. That setup worked fantastically with the MSS paired with the stock DCC struts. Amazing. Was really happy with it. On the track, still good. Don't get me wrong. Still good and really well suited to people wanting to hit the track. But for me, trying to really chase and bring my times down wasn't going to get me there. So here we are, Bilsteins. Now, why haven't I done a video already on them? Well, because I wanted to not just say, oh, hey, I got some Bilsteins, like I just did. I wanted to go a little bit more in depth about them in terms of why they're good, my experiences so far with them. I think that's a bit more valuable, and that's what I would be looking for if I was searching for videos about Bilsteins fitted to Golfs. So, how's my experience so far? Well, really amazing. Have exceeded my expectations. Not so much, it hasn't just drastically dropped my lap times by a massive amount, although I have brought them down. Firstly, just the ride on the street, amazing. I never thought coilovers could feel this good, and I've had plenty of coilovers over the years. I've had BCs, I've had several sets of teens, I've had HSDs, I've had, you know, a whole bunch of other coilovers on various different cars. Man, nothing compares to these Bilsteins. They are so good. They're like firm, but not jarring in any way. Like you go over a bump, and you know how like you get used to kind of bracing and preparing yourself for that jolt and that impact. That just doesn't happen on the Bilsteins. I ride with them just on the middle setting, so like 5 clicks. I could go softer, but right now that seems to feel good. It feels sporty, not jarring in any way. And it's fantastic. So on the street, zero compromise. Like, it's the best the car's ever felt, and really has reinvigorated like my love for driving the car, because you know, I've done a whole bunch of mods which has taken away the sort of day-to-day drivability, like a little bit. You know, I've been just making little inroads into making it less of a daily driver and a bit more track focused. But getting the Bilsteins, it just seems to have reset that somewhat and just brought everything together that little bit better. That's the best way I can describe it. So that's the street experience. Track experience, equally amazing. The impact that just one click has is profound. You know, I'll ask Andre from DNA. You know, Andre, car's doing this. What should I do? He'll say, okay, one click here, or two clicks here. That's it, and it just transforms the car. Like, dial out understeer, dial out oversteer with 1 or 2 clicks. I've never had this ability before in the car to actually, before I'd have to drive around whatever the car was doing. Now I don't need to. Now I can, okay, the car's doing this, so I need to make these adjustments. It's just added a whole new dimension to the experience. For those that like mechanical things and interacting with things, solving problems, it adds that element to your car, and I just didn't have that before, and personally I really enjoy that. I'm the kind of person that enjoys winding a manual watch because you're interacting with it, right? It's enhancing your enjoyment of it. I like solving problems, so for that reason alone, I think I really enjoy it. But the proof's been in the pudding too. I've been able to bring my lap times down pretty much each time I've been out on them, as I sort of get used to the car. A bit more about that. So I've had them since the start of the year. I did a couple of track days on them, but I did it with the Verus diffuser, and I haven't done a video on that either. Really, again, I was been thinking about, well, what kind of content could I do to make that part relevant, and I still haven't found that. That part's not legal for the class that I run in, but the season hadn't started until like a week or so ago, so I was running it just for fun. You know, it looks cool. So I thought I'd run it on some practice days. So I had dialed the car in really to work with the Verus diffuser, and I pretty much had it nailed. Last event, which was my competition round, I had to take the diffuser off, went out there, and oh my god, the difference not having the diffuser makes is really quite profound. I really didn't expect that. I thought, yeah, it's cool, every little bit counts, but wow. As an aero aid, it really kept the tail end really planted. So my setup's quite aggressive now with the H&R bar in the back. Like it rotates like nothing else. So when I took the diffuser off and went out sort of on the same settings that I had before, I was getting oversteer into corners on corner entry. That was a bit much. So dialed that out, but I still don't have it back to where it was with the diffuser, and maybe that's just going to be a compromise, or maybe there's still a few settings that we can do. So that's definitely one of the things I want to work on today, is the non-Verus setup and getting the car just really dialed in without that on. That's an objective for today. The other objective, if I can do it as well, is to try and figure out what is causing the throttle cuts, the mid-corner throttle cuts I'm getting. I'm not sure if I've spoken about them before, but it sounds like a DSG pop, but I'm not changing gear. So some kind of throttle cut or ignition cut, something
Watch
like
out.
that.
Vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
I already last time I was out, I did some logging of some temperatures, and that's pretty much told me that I need an oil cooler and possibly radiators. That may be causing it. I've got some advice from someone that says there's a limitation at 108 degrees C on coolant temp, which can cause
Vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
throttle cut. Means that DSG can be an issue, but my DSG temps weren't high at all. I've heard numbers like 138. you hear
Estimated
that?
time in traffic, 8 minutes.
Thank you. I want to see if I'm actually hitting this 108 degrees coolant temp. When I did logs last time, I only logged one session. I was hitting about 103, but I can't remember if I actually got throttle cut in that session. I could go back and look at the video. Actually, no, I should do that. I know on my best lap, because I've reviewed that plenty of times, I didn't get any throttle cut on that one. So it could be that, or it could be something else. It could be a torque steer element as well. So I have heard that there are torque limitations in place for like steering or counter steering. So that's another thing to investigate. Let's see if we can do that. That's the goal for today. I'm on my way to the track now. Let's have some fun. All right, and we're here at the track. We've signed in, we've done one session, and man, conditions are fantastic. Just done a ridiculous time here, knocking like a second and a half off the time I did like 2 weeks ago at the Super Sprint. There have been some improvements to the track here to make it a little bit faster, some resurfacing, so that is going to improve the time as well. But man, car is dialed in. Bilsteins are amazing. So I set it up before, 2 clicks at the front, 1 at the back, and that did the trick. Just got the car out here now in front of the garages because I was just filling up. The car feels amazing. The rotation is just on point. I can balance the car on the throttle. It's perfect. There's the laps. You can see that 1:45.6, optimal 1:44.8. So I did a 1:47.2 just 2 weeks ago at the same circuit, and I don't often get big jumps like that in times. Like generally it's, you know, if I'm making an improvement, it's like, you know, half a second max or 0.2, 0.3. So to go a second and a half quicker is just ridiculous. And I think really things just came together on that lap. You know, I had the suspension ready to go, had the Bilsteins adjusted, I set tire pressures. So when I got to the second hot lap, I think they were just ideal. By the end of the session, they were way too high. And they'd greased over a fair bit, but before that they were perfect. It's a V8 Sylvia. I was talking to this guy the other week. Pretty cool car. All right, let's go do some more sessions. Wow, so what a night here at the track. It's now 10:30. Pretty eventful. I didn't get to do that many laps because, silly me, I didn't top up the oil after I changed it last night. So actually the car went into limp mode on the second session, and went into like protection mode or whatever, limp mode, maximum 4,000 RPMs, limped it back to the pits. I thought I actually blew a boost pipe off. So I got under the car, checked everything, that was all okay. Yeah, it turns out I underfilled the oil. What a rookie mistake. But we're all done now. So we're all packed up, just pumping the tires back up. Car's loaded up. So I managed to get one session in at the end. It was a passenger session, a bit of traffic, wasn't able to go all out, but still put in a pretty respectable time at 1:46. So pretty happy with that. So successful day at the track. Bilsteins were amazing. The adjustability is just unreal. Luckily, I got it dialed in the first session. I didn't need to make any other adjustments, and it was spot on. The way I could change the rotation just using the throttle is just spectacular. It's not to understeer, it's not to oversteer, it's just how you want it. Does it still understeer on corner exit when I'm wanting to get full on the gas? Yeah, a little bit, but maybe that's an LSD limitation, maybe that's front wheel drive limitation, I don't know. But all in all, really happy. What a car. The GTI just keeps getting better and better. So I think we'll leave it there. I'm pretty pleased with myself, I'm sure you can tell. So until next time, have fun in your cars and keep it on the black stuff.